into some tips, tricks, and fun facts that we have about the Haunted Mansion. So first, let's talk about the best time to go to the Haunted Mansion. When do you guys get in line for the ride?
For me, it has to be first thing in the morning. I feel like the minute I walk through the gates, the first place I want to go to is the Haunted Mansion. I find that sometimes the line is the shortest in the morning. So, and of course, I want to be on there first before everybody else. So
all day long.
And all day long. So true, so true. So I'm beelining it. I will push past people to get there. I'm not going to lie about that.
Yeah.
My favorite time's at night. I love the whole eeriness of it at nighttime, and when the lights are all on the house, and it just makes it spooky.
Yes.
And every once in a while, I've read in quite a few books, and I've actually seen it a few times, that at nighttime when it is lit up, the windows are lit up, and every once in a while you can see like a ghost fly by the window, which is very exciting if you're into that, detail-orientated stuff like us.
Mm-hmm. Another good time to go is either during parades or fireworks. That's kind of a good general rule for most attractions. But one thing, avoid the Haunted Mansion when the parade is ending. So the parade line, the route actually goes right past the Haunted Mansion in Liberty Square and goes across the bridge to Main Street. So as soon as the parade passes there, a lot of people just immediately jump from the parade into the queue for the Haunted Mansion. So maybe avoid that time around either the 2 o'clock parade or the 3 o'clock parade, whatever it is that day, and go either first thing in the morning, later at night, or when the parade or fireworks are actually going on.
So now let's talk about the queue line.
Oh my
goodness. The updated queue line that they have done at the Haunted Mansion is absolutely fantastic. You do have the option of, bypassing it all and waiting a shorter amount of time. But if you want that whole Haunted Mansion experience, absolutely go for the queue line. Where you can play the instruments on the one side and then the haunted instruments on the other side, and the busts of everybody, of the family members.
Yeah,
I like to get
mystery.
Yes, I like to get my picture of my kids and beside the twins, just because it's that much more fun, and it makes them a little uncomfortable, and I'm all about doing that with my kids.
Yeah. And there's some fun little hidden nods to the history of the Haunted Mansion and the characters inside the Haunted Mansion. So towards the end of kind of that extended queue is a crypt with a sea captain. And that is actually a nod to one of the original ideas for the storyline of the Haunted Mansion involving a sea captain. So his crypt is there as kind of a push towards what that could have been.
Also, Constance Hatchaway's ring.
Yes. Yeah.
So
ring.
I have not yet found this. I have
neither.
looked many times. I've read online where to find it. Of course you would. So why don't you explain to everyone where you can locate it?
So from what I remember and what I can picture, it's towards the end of the queue. So right before you merge into the area where you wait in front of the Haunted Mansion doors, there should be a little, if you look down on the ground, it's embedded into the cement. So you want to kind of look around that area for the ring. And if you are really interested in finding it and you can't find it, ask one of the cast members that are there and they might be able to help you out. So another good thing to look for in the queue, so just before you're entering into the Haunted Mansion, you will notice a bunch of tombstones beside you, kind of in like a little grassy area. If you read the tombstones, they're actually named after and little nods to the original Imagineers and people who worked on the Haunted Mansion project. So you'll see Mark Davis mentioned, you'll see Rolly Crump, you'll see a few different people, including Leota.
Mm-hmm. Leota Toombs, the original and the only person that's qualified to be Madame Leota.
Yeah.
So her tombstone is just before you enter into the doors of the Haunted Mansion. And if you wait patiently, you can actually see her eyes open and then close again. And they're a lovely shade of green, I have to admit. I'm a little jealous of how green her eyes are.
But it's just something cool to kind of watch for, and she'll be following you in as you start your journey into the Haunted Mansion.
Because there's always so much to see, right?
Yes.
As you're going through everything, you notice something that you never noticed before. So it's always fun to go through that queue.
Yeah, for sure. And then kind of like a little fun fact that we have is that you'll notice when you are in the queue, there is a tomb that says Master Gracie on it. And when you enter into the foyer, there is a portrait of a gentleman who a lot of people will tell you it's Master Gracie. Well, actually, Master Gracie is not a part of the original Haunted Mansion story. The tombstone is named after Yale Gracie, who is one of the Imagineers who worked on the different effects within the Haunted Mansion. And fans of the Haunted Mansion just kind of grabbed onto this name and onto the lore and saw the figure in the foyer and really just kind of hooked onto this idea that Master Gracie owns the Haunted Mansion. And it was actually so popular that they included it in the Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion movie as the actual owner of the mansion. But he's not actually in the official story of the Haunted Mansion. He's kind of something that fans have grown to love, which is pretty cool about the Haunted Mansion and how it has such a cult following that we've created our own storylines that Disney very much has grasped onto.
Part of the cult, not gonna lie.
Once you are in the Haunted Mansion, there is something that might be helpful to those who have kids who are a little too scared to ride the ride if they aren't excited about it, if they're worried about it, and if you're claustrophobic. This might be a pretty good tip for you. Ask a cast member if you can maybe skip the first section of the ride, if you could get directly into your Doom buggy. They may be able to help you out with that, and that will skip a part of the ride that might not necessarily be comfortable for yourself if you're claustrophobic, or for your child if they're very frightened. However, you do want to try to do that, because I don't want to spoil anything, but like the stretching rooms are just amazing.
Oh, they're absolutely amazing. And to be fair, I like to be one of the last people out of the stretching room.
Yeah.
Just for a little bit of nerdism here, but if you are a true diehard fan, you know the reason why you want to stay behind. If you have the opportunity, please do so. You will not regret what you're about to see and hear.
Yeah, but don't stay too long. Keep moving. That's cast member me. Keep moving.
So the one great thing about the Haunted Mansion still is that there are still so many hidden Mickeys that you can look for. One of the most famous ones that everyone is aware of is in the dining room, and that the plates are set up, and you can actually see that quite easily. There are a few that are a little bit more difficult to find, but if you take the time to read about them and take a look for them, it's something that you can enjoy with your family.
Yeah, and allows you to keep riding the attraction over and over again to actually try to find those. Yeah.
But do you really need an excuse? Like, let's just be real.
Yeah.
I don't.
We don't need any excuses. We'll just keep going.
Yeah, exactly.
Another great thing about the ride is the pet cemetery at the end. I know that there is the Mr. Toad from Mr. Toad's Wild Ride in the back corner, and it's just a tribute to that ride that is now been replaced by Winnie the Pooh. But for all the people that have gone way before the Winnie the Pooh time, you would be fully aware of Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, and that it's just a polite nod to it, and that it's still a part of the Disney memory and history.
And then when you're done the ride, don't forget to stop by Memento Mori, which is the best Haunted Mansion store. It has everything from tea towels to t-shirts to bookends. You name it, they have it.
You can actually go ahead and make yourself into a 3D illusion scary portrait, which is a lot of fun. I have thought about doing it numerous times myself, but I mean, I'm scary enough as it is.
No.
I don't think I need that picture to help my case.
There's just so much amazing merch in there, and they switch it out pretty regularly. Depending on the season, it can be there. So like right now, it's Halloween season. So a great thing about the Haunted Mansion attraction itself is that it's perfect for Halloween. If you go during a Halloween party at Walt Disney World to the Haunted Mansion, you will see all the cast members dressed up in a little more of a spooky costume. They get some lovely makeup done and some hair with a lot of cobwebs all over them. In the queue, there's usually some talking ghosts there that can talk to you, like Carlotta. So it's a whole different and even more fun experience during the Halloween party while you're there. And don't forget to look for the grave diggers in the parade.
Yes, that's my favorite.
It's so cool how they just kind of like hit their shovels to the beat of the music, and you know, the sparks that go with it, and then you know, you've got 3 hitchhiking ghosts, speaking of, that have their own like introduction on a float, and it's just so amazing that they've included it, and it's such a huge part of Halloween. I mean, it's such a huge part of our lives every day, so that little nod and tribute to it is an extra bonus for us.
And one last tip and trick, if you are there, don't forget to ask the Haunted Mansion maids about the bats that are on their hat. A lot of them have names, and it's just something fun that you can use to kind of talk to the cast members about and see what their favorite parts of the mansion are. And yeah, they're just, although they might look a little scary and a little mean, I promise they're pretty friendly. So I think that about does it for our overview of the Haunted Mansion attraction history and why we love it and some helpful tips and tricks for you all. We hope that you keep watching and stay tuned for our upcoming attraction series where we look at some other attractions that are beloved to us and we get into the history and some tips and tricks of those attractions as well. So that will be coming soon.
So in true Haunted Mansion form, we would like to say, hurry back.